Let's get out to Calgary. Our good guy, Tim Hunter, joins us. Flames great. We all know that. Hey, Coach. Welcome back to the program. Little big news up Highway 2 today in Edmonton, huh? With Stan Bowman. What do you think?
Well, he's a very capable guy for sure. With the Stanley Cups in Chicago, the team he put together there, built, obviously with a lot of help from Scotty, his dad, and a number of other people. But it's a special thing to put a winning team together, a Stanley Cup team together, and there's not many guys are able to do it, and he's obviously done it a couple times.
I'll ask any of the viewers, by the way, 902-518-3033, questions, anything NHL related for Tim Hunter, or on the streams as well. My thing on this, Tim, is he's served his 3-year suspension, basically lost his job, so I don't think he should be canceled forever. I don't think he's in charge. From what I hear, Jeff Jackson's making all the calls, but there's something to be said for 2, 3, 4 heads are better than one. I've been saying it all show. I think this is a good move for that. He's a good hockey man, and you know what I mean? Not one guy can make all the important calls with an NHL franchise, I don't think.
Well, nobody does, and smart people surround themselves around other smart people and let them do their jobs. And I think the ownership up there has finally realized it's not fantasy NHL, and you have to hire good people to get the job done and not try to do it yourself. And obviously it started with Ken Holland, now Jeff Jackson in there, and Jeff doesn't have much managerial experience, and he's a smart hockey guy. Obviously, played the game. He's a lawyer. He's been an agent. He's been around the game. But the ins and outs of deals with other general managers is a real key point in putting a team together and doing the right things and enticing or dragging another general manager into your ideals and ideas of making a trade. And then talking players into coming to play in Edmonton. Not a lot of players want to play in Canada, the taxes and all this, the weather and the lifestyle is not the same as some of the places in the United States. But winning culture and the chance to win are what's very attractive to Edmonton. They're knocking on the door. They gained a ton of experience this year with going to the final against Florida. One goal away from tying it and going to overtime, but experience and a great team prevailed in the end. So I think Edmonton's not far away, but smart hockey minds will try to get the job done, and like everything else, to get the job done, everything has to go right for sure.
I'll tell you what, just a fun thing. I respect the hell out of the Oilers-Flames rivalry. I just love it. And I wish we had it in Florida. I don't think we ever will. But can you tell the folks how you're surprised when you go to Edmonton, how nice you're treated by Oilers fans? Do you think, Tim, they're just scared of you? Or do you actually think they're over it, the 80s?
Well, I don't think they're over it. I just think when you look back and we get together with certain events with the Oilers alumni guys. I was actually with some of the Oilers alumni guys yesterday in Canmore for the Hockey Alberta Foundation golf tournament. We laughed, it's great. But the number one thing, it's respect. They respected what we were trying to do, and we certainly respected them because they had a great team. They had great experience with Glenn Sather and all their coaching staff putting that team together. And we knew to get anywhere, we had to go through Edmonton, and we had to scratch and claw to become better, to be able to beat Edmonton, or at least beat the teams that Edmonton was beating. And it all worked out. But I go to Edmonton. It's funny, I was always kind of like, ugh, these people, they despised me, hated me. And I go up there now and do events. The people that love it, they're all ears. They all come up and they go, it's just like the day when I went from Calgary, Quebec, Vancouver. I went and met the Griffiths family and Emily and Arthur, and she looked at me, and I thought she was going to tear a strip off me, and she was pointing this finger like, Tim Hunter, I used to hate your guts, and now I love you. And so it's the same thing with the Oilers fans, just respect, and that's what we both organizations have for each other, and the players, past and present, do as well.
We were leaving Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay after Game 4 in this year's playoffs, and just as a Panthers media contingent, and the Lightning fans were, we hope you win the Stanley Cup. Hope you go all the way. I'm like, what? You're supposed to be the rival. This would never happen in Alberta and Vancouver, as you say. Hey, I'm following what's going on with Scotia Place there in Calgary, Tim. To use a horse term, it seems like unbridled enthusiasm with a new arena. How's the announcement gone this week?
It was great, really exciting, and I was in Canmore on Monday when they did it. But we had some guys there, and they got to see the rendition of the building and the inside, and it's really amazing. It's going to be real intimate because it's going to be steep, 18,400 seats, and lots of space for the fans and for everything underneath that goes on underneath. The players, parking, suite holders. In Calgary, the Saddle Dome, I go up the elevator to the Platinum Lounge, and I'm riding the elevator with the assistant coach, the guy that's carrying a case of vodka, and the guy's got a platter of nachos going to some suite. Like, that's just archaic. And this new building is going to have everything. I know the company that's helping design and build and all this, they've gone through a number of builds, and they've ironed out a lot of the mistakes they've made in the past, looking back and looking what's worked, what's not. And there are going to be a lot of new kind of wrinkles in the Scotia Place in Calgary. And that'll be cool because it'll be the most modern building in hockey. And they won't have all those small mistakes or big mistakes, whatever they are, that they created in those other buildings, trying to make a bigger and better arena experience for the fans.
I don't know you that well. I know you pretty well, better than most, but you don't strike me as a real sentimental guy. Will you shed a tear when they knock the wrecking ball into the Saddle Dome? Will you miss it?
No, not really. I've been in so many of the new buildings. They're so nice. The dressing rooms, the features for the fans. I go to playoff games in Calgary, and, it's jam-packed, and everyone's much more enthusiastic. And they're drinking more beer, and the lines for the bathrooms are just awful. They have porta potties out on the landings for the exits, and I'm not going to miss any of that. And the dressing room was small. We were down in the dressing room this year, actually. They've done a great job over the last few years redesigning and giving the players more space down there when we did our 35th anniversary celebration. So they do have a nice modern room, but it's not 3 stories high like the Oilers dressing room, and doesn't have a fireplace, and doesn't have a big lounge where you can get lost in. So, modern is better. Yeah, sure, I missed going in the old Boston Garden because it was small, and I wasn't a great skater, so I could forecheck a lot easier than I can. And then in the new Incomplete Center, what they called it, the Fleet Center, and now it's whatever it's called now. But no, I think for the game, for the fans, for the whole experience, modern buildings are so much better.
I'm with you. It's like Taylor Field. We hated it, wanted it to be a parking lot when we were there. The fans loved it, but we couldn't wait to get into the new place. By the way, I met a guy in South Florida, Nick Vittio's best friend. And I said, hey, I got a buddy up in Calgary. I got a buddy up in Calgary who says the hardest he ever got punched was by Nick Vittio. So we had a great chat about that. Yeah, I don't want to bring that up. I don't want to bring up any bad memories. But I'll say this.
Oh, no.
You're out talking.
I'm glad
you're talking all the.
I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All the Flames fans, you're talking to the fans, you're out and about. I'm wondering what the vibe is because it's been pretty down the last couple of years. But if it's a rebuild, like the Patriots are going through a rebuild and they're not afraid to say it. With the Flames, you got a good young goalie there and Dustin Wolf and talent coming up and a coaching staff that's tremendous. Please tell me there's a positive vibe there around the club this summer.
There sure is. It's really, I think, the draft, getting such a quality player at number 9 in Zane Parekh, and then adding some real good players in the next 2 or 3 picks, and then Calgary kids, people that want to play here. I talked to Willie Desjardins yesterday about Basha. He's lives about 2 blocks from me. And he said, Tim, that kid's a hell of a player. He had an injury last year. He got his foot stepped on and not cut bad, but he lost some nerve damage and things. So he didn't play, whatever it was. I can't remember exactly what Willie was saying. He didn't play to his potential. And he says, we're really looking forward to him playing to his potential. So he's going to get so much better than he was. And this is a great pick. When you get good picks in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, that can play. Not many players, if you look at the history and the data of players actually playing the NHL, not many guys make it after the 2nd round. So that's exciting. Yeah. I talked to Jerome McGinley on Saturday at the Alberta Hockey Hall of Fame induction and was, just congratulating him on Tej being drafted. And he talked about how excited he was to be part of the Flames and see all the young picks and be at the draft and see the excitement. And then, over the last 2 days, being in Canmore with Hockey Alberta people and lots of fans and lots of VIP people that are hockey fans, they are really excited about the direction. They're finally going to do it the right way. And if they continue to have that patience, and by the time the team gets to the new building, they'll be really on the upsurge, and it'll be really exciting hockey. And I know all our alumni guys are really excited about it too, because we're looking forward to getting in the new building, and it's just fun for us to go to the games and be around the fans, and it's going to be a great experience.
It's funny because I see all these teams are just now, some football teams, some hockey teams, just now establishing viable alumni associations. And I'm like, the Flames have been doing it for years and doing it better than anybody else. And hey, we only got a couple of minutes, but a guy sent me the text the other day. He goes, hey, it says on this day in 1996, the San Jose Sharks signed Tim Hunter, which was your last season. What do you think they're going to be like? Like, Celebrini is going to play there this year, right? What's the outlook for San Jose, do you think?
Well, they're a step ahead of Calgary. They've already done all the tear down and got rid of all the contracts, and they're bare bones team. But they got the prize of the draft in Celebrini, and they have a franchise player. So moving forward, they build around him. And Mike Greer, I coached Mike. Been around Mike Greer. He's very smart, patience. And, they've struggled to get fans. He's brought back in a bunch of his alumni. Joe Thornton's on board. He's pounding the drum, how exciting it is to be a Shark and come and watch these young guys play. And that speaks volumes. And so they're going to build that from the ground up. And, like everyone talks about different models of rebuilds. And, Chicago was one of those models that, they got a bunch of young players, surrounded them with veterans, taught them how to win, then brought more veterans in that knew how to win, and transitioned, and the team grew. And that's how you do it. Letting these players experience and learn under good coaching and letting them live it is the best way for them to develop. And the Sharks are going to be an exciting team. I'm looking forward to watching them as well. And, and as Calgary goes along, they'll start integrating these guys in, because they are not afraid to integrate new players in the lineup. And that's exciting.
Good stuff. Fun to watch. Tim, thanks for the time as always. Thanks for jumping on, and enjoy the rest of summer.
You bet. You too, Rod. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
NHL great Tim Hunter from Cowtown.